Hey, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are when you're looking at this. Great to have you here, and we're doing another DigiMetaverse show. And in this show, I've got a guest called Sebastian Diaconu, if I pronounce that correctly, but you'll
Yeah,
teach
that's
me how
correct.
to do that. And yeah, maybe a few words about you. Where are you? Who are you? Tell us.
Yeah, that sounds good. So my name is Sebastian Diaconu. I'm originally from Romania, but I am currently living in Portugal. I've been a little bit of digital nomad myself, if you want. In the past 9 years, I lived in this is my fourth country. But yeah, I think that's part of the new normal. I would say. I mean, it's not necessarily related to COVID or anything else, but I think it's this industry that makes us, move around, and actually, it's much more flexible than the traditional, go to office type of, work. So let me just give you a little bit about my experience. I work in traditional banking, which was extremely boring. Thank God I escaped from that. And then in in the financial industry, I worked for quite a number of years, especially on the I was head of dealing for a number of companies, forex companies, for example. I work as a market analyst as well, and this is actually the environment that led me to bump into Bitcoin early 2014. That was the first time I got in contact with Bitcoin. If you can believe, Bitcoin was a few $100s at that time.
Right.
It seems like ages, right? From a lot of point of views. But to be honest, I got more interested in blockchain technology starting from 2016, especially when I discovered Ethereum, which from my point of view, is basically what made blockchain mainstream rather than Bitcoin, I would say, because it had so many utilities, and it's still the foundation on a lot of things that we are doing right now. So from 2017, I had the opportunity to join a company in Asia as a CEO of a crypto exchange, which I led for about 2 years. We had some really good numbers there as well. Managed to hit a real volume of $1 billion a day in 2018. That was a performance back in the days. I mean, now it's normal to have $1 billion in volume. Back then, it was we actually at that time we were number one in the world as volume, even bigger than Binance, if you can believe that. Then I migrated slowly towards the blockchain enterprise solution. I like this part of blockchain as well. I explored it as well. We had some solution that we provided for a government entity in Europe, for a capital market authority from one of the European countries. Then we also built COVID-19 solution as well. I was quite interesting. And then after this I joined IKONIC in 2021. But I was in touch with NFT and since early 2018 actually, and I honestly realized the potential of it, and I loved it, and I was looking for an opportunity to work for an NFT project, and when IKONIC came in place and combine NFTs, which I saw the potential in gaming. I'm a gamer for over 30 years. So imagine there were two things that I
Wow.
like together. And I was like, this is my dream job. So there you go. This is this is why I'm here. And I love what I'm doing. It's more than just a job. I think it's passion inside it. And probably you'll notice during this interview the way I speak about IKONIC, that is just beyond a simple project that I'm working for. It's something that I put heart and soul uh,
Cool.
to succeed.
Very interesting. Thank you so much for that. And yeah, maybe two words about me. I mean, I come from a background of being a scientist, an engineer, a space scientist, a rocket scientist,
Yeah.
even. And I slid into the internet world in the early 90s already, really building from the ground up data centers and stuff. So I'm a true techie and a nerd. So I might take it a bit down that avenue. Then I apologize and just take me back up and say I don't get it or I don't want to go there. But considering what you just said, so gaming and esports, right? IKONIC. And the little bridge that I want to build is with my son, who is also a gamer. You've been gaming for 30 years. Mine is a bit younger. He's 15, but he's really into games. And what I can see from the outset, and then you can tell a little bit about IKONIC, is that it's such a big industry and it's such a big thing for them to be connected all around the world today, right? I mean, I played games when I was younger as well, but I played games in solitude on my game computer, right? And it was me against the computer. That is long gone. I mean, if there's no internet connection, there's no other players to play with, then he's not even interested, I think, to actually go there. And so tell us about IKONIC and how that is going to enhance that experience that is now the experience of a whole generation that's up and coming.
Yeah, I mean, look, I mean, just to go in this like a preview for IKONIC is my elder son is 6 years old and he's playing Roblox and everything is online. I mean, he's just 6 years old and he's already exploring this part of. And he's really into it, maybe too much, but okay, that's another discussion, But I agree. I mean, back when I started, the notion of multiplayer was like being in the same room with a friend, playing on the same console, maybe, and that was about it. Then we evolved to hot sit, like to be connected in a local network, and just play with other people in the same room, like maximum 8. And then we evolved towards the new multiplayer in the sense that we have it now, right? Like all over the world. And I've been through all these stages, and I think it's an interesting evolution, I would say. It does, of course, it has benefits and maybe some counter some issues as well. But I would say that this is the direction we are going, regardless we want or not. And I think we just need to adapt to it. And where IKONIC comes in place, because I've been a gamer for such a long time, is that I remember how many hours I was spending every day playing different games, like single player, most of them, right? Then some multiplayer games, and I just realized that sometimes was maybe not as rewarded as supposed to be, because a lot of times I was able to create some really outstanding moments, right? And I was not able to share with anyone. And that was like, oh, nobody saw that, right? So this is what IKONIC is trying to do here. And now I'm just going to go into introduction to IKONIC. IKONIC is an NFT marketplace that aims to create revenue streams for esports team players, gamers of all kind, regardless single player or multiplayer, and streamers as well, right? And I will explain a little bit why. Exactly, just because there's so many. We are talking about 3 billion gamers around the world. So almost half of the global population are playing games on one platform or another, one type of game or another. And I'm thinking that from these gamers, maybe just a handful actually managed to become mainstream. They're streamers with a lot of followers. Some they're like part of the esports teams. But that is just a drop in the ocean from the total number of gamers, right? And I know myself, I know personally that a lot of these gamers, they are not known. They are maybe it could be equally skilled as the one that are known. So with IKONIC, we want to give them the possibility to share this with the world. And how they can do that is very simple. You can create these moments in any game, regardless it's traditional game or the web 3.0 game. It doesn't matter. Any platform, either we're talking about Xbox, PC, PlayStation, mobile, even Switch, it doesn't matter. All these moments that we managed to create, as long as they will be able to be saved in a certain video format, you can upload them on IKONIC platform. We have a very easy to use platform, and I'll just go into more details in a bit. Is you upload the video, you choose that specific scene because you're playing for hours, right? Not every time you manage to create an outstanding moment, but there will be a time that you will be able to create these moments. You save them, you upload them, we give you the tools. We have a video editor, we have a aspect ratio. Imagine that you have like a bullet flying in the air going towards the target, to emphasize on that specific part. You create this moment, then you just name the moment, you create the NFT, you choose a royalty, and then you mint the NFT. That's it. It's as simple as that. We wanted to create it very simple. Why? Because traditional gamers, honestly speaking, they don't like blockchain. They don't like NFTs because they don't understand them. So we want to give them something very easy to use to understand that, okay, this is not complicated, first of all, because, crypto platforms in general, that honestly speaking, I know you're a scientist and probably for you it's simple, but for a lot of people, this is extremely challenging, right? To learn how to use a platform. And
Sure.
and we wanted to create something very simple for them. So just a few steps, they will be able to create. And they have this misconception that crypto and blockchain is bad. Why? Because a lot of the traditional publisher try to use in their own benefit. But with IKONIC, we give them the option to monetize their skill. I mean, if just to put it in a small phrase, is just monetize your skills and share it with the world. We want people to see what you can do. You can earn some money out of it, because the royalties means that after you mint the NFT, every time the NFT is resold in the market, you'll earn royalty lifetime. This is extremely important. The way we created the platform is to protect the creators and also the fans, and we will discuss later about this. But if you want to take it in a certain direction, is that this platform is not for us. It was not built for us. It was not built for me. Was not built for a specific person. Was built for any of these 3 billion gamers that can use this platform to earn some revenue. And it's not only just the revenue. This is, I would say, is just a part of it. I'm talking about creating, like, increasing their, create a fan base, increase their fan base. If you're a streamer or if you're an esports team of players, there's many ways you can actually utilize. We wanted to create an ecosystem. It's not just forget that it's an NFT marketplace. It's an ecosystem. IKONIC is an ecosystem, and we will get in more details later. Sorry, I'm
Sound,
talking too much.
no, that's okay. It
Yeah,
sounds very interesting. And again, I am interested to get to the bottom of how that tokenomics, because there is a digital currency involved, right?
of
So
course.
how you see that working. But for now, so you're enabling, if I understood you well, you're trying to enable the other billions, because there are billions out there, is what you said, right? Of people
Correct.
that currently are not on Twitch or on, I don't know, YouTube, interacting with their audiences, right? So it's actually enabling everybody in their homes to start sharing those moments. And again, that's a very big play, a very big idea, because those two platforms that we just said are massive, massive platforms, right?
Correct.
So very, very interesting. And then how do you see, because one of the challenges there is if you want to touch 3 billion gamers, then obviously they're going to be here, there, and everywhere, right? So
Yeah.
have you thought about, and what's the idea around, I don't know, decentralization, or where do you want to have that marketplace, and how do you want to operate that? Have you got already some ideas about that and how to scale that going forward?
Sure. I mean, that's a very good point. I mean, I think the whole point of decentralization is to offer everyone, right, regardless where, if we want to extrapolate from gaming or esports, we are talking about every person on this world should be
Right.
able to connect, right, through different channels and blockchain, through blockchain, with the others, right, without having all these millions of intermediaries and so on and so forth, all these procedures, bureaucracy, that we know that, and it's extremely annoying, it's frustrating, it's costly, and it doesn't benefit to the end user. And this is what we are trying to do. I mean, each of us that we are here, we are actually trying through our products to enable, and be part of decentralization, be part of creating a certain product that will benefit to all, right? Yes, of course, we are talking here about the niche, which is esports and gaming, which is gaining more and more followers every year. By the way, esports is one of the fastest growing industries in the world at this moment.
Yep.
It's growing at minimum 9% a year, which is quite
Incredible.
impressive. Yeah,
Good.
uh, and the it's becoming more and more mainstream. I mean, there are competitions over $40 million in prizes. I mean, this is impressive, to say the least. But in the end, we're talking here about how we want to reach out to everybody. I think the point and look, One thing is that we are not competing with YouTube and Twitch. Absolutely no doubt. We are complementing them, right? We are offering an additional solution, right? We are not trying to replace YouTube. We are not trying to replace Twitch. We're not trying to replace TikTok. We're not trying to replace the traditional esports tournaments. We are coming to help to make this mainstream actually, and to help everybody to earn more. It's like, it's not that. That's why everybody, when I will say, hey, are you considering to partner with other NFT marketplaces, my answer is yes, because I don't want to keep everything for myself. So, and I will explain a little bit. The concept here is like, for example, we want to participate with NFT or another NFT marketplace, and people ask me why they are your competitors. Wrong, they are not my competitors. I can help them, they can help me. I have a community that can reach out to the products that maybe they are not available on my platform, and they have a community they are willing to get products that are on my platform. So this is the mentality we should have. We should stop thinking ourselves as competitors. We should think that we are part of the whole ecosystem that we are trying to build. And this is how we see it. And I think this is why I think IKONIC is going to be successful, because we are seeing ourselves as part of the solution to provide a solution for the problem that exists, which is basically, as I mentioned, about a lot of skilled gamers not able to showcase their skills and also monetize them, right? So it's very simple. One way to do it, because basically this comes to go to market strategy. Partnerships are extremely important, right? You need to bring along those, like we have a lot of partnerships with Play to Earn games, with game deals. I mean, it's easier to partner with Web 3.0 than with the traditional one. But we also have discussion with a lot of esports team from the traditional one, like PUBG, Valorant, and other games, right? That we want to partner with them because they find this idea interesting. Because, oh, I can monetize my skills. That sounds great. I want to use it. So we are. This is one way that we can add more and more people, and think like the whole ecosystem is beneficial not only by creating NFTs, but by reaching out to a much larger fan base. So, for example, let's just say I am a new game. I have 50,000 followers or 100,000, and I join an ecosystem with 1 million, 2, 5, 10 million. So automatically, it's gonna be easier for me to reach out to more people, which are all in the same place, than if I go on the traditional. So, for example, in YouTube is very difficult to gain followers, right? Or on Twitch, because usually they follow a specific person. But when you have an NFT marketplace where everybody's posting their moments, then it's gonna be very easy for you as a fan to say, I'm following X streamer or X esports team, but I kind of like this game. I kind of like this team as well. Why not to follow them as well? Who said that I have to follow only one team? I can follow 10, 100. It doesn't matter. So that's also another way for the companies or esports team or games that joining to expand their fan base in a very simple way. It doesn't cost them anything, right? So that's why I said we are enabling. This is what we are trying to do, enabling. So I hope I answered to your question.
Yeah, you did. And I hope we're going to make a highlight out of this video as well. And you're going to make an NFT for me out of it, because that would be my first NFT. So
that sounds awesome, actually.
That's exactly. Awesome. So let's do that. And I'll let you select in the end the best, or I let Mike select, who's not visible. I let Mike select the best portion, and then let's create an NFT out of it. Again, the question about decentralization was a bit loaded, because again, my background is I work for DigiCorp Labs. I work for Threefold. Two projects came together to create a decentralized platform, almost like the plumbing of this new internet, that actually can run these platforms in communities, in people's homes, in universities, in schools, in places where you want to. So I was hoping that I could sort of entice you and interest you in considering that. And I know you're interested, because in the end you signed a partnership with DigiCorp Labs, right? And it's very early days, but I'm sure that we'll get to some more concrete plans soon in terms of how we can make that work and how we can make that work together. With regards to those NFTs and platforms, what do you think in terms of sizes? How many people will be part of this? How many NFTs will they make a day? I mean, have you got any ideas and any, again, I've been a gamer not for a very long time, so I've got no idea. But if I look at my son, and by the way, eSports saved him because from a very early on age, he wanted to be a Formula One driver. Again, I told him like that is very, very difficult and we have to start going in go-karts now. And again, we never did that, obviously, or not often enough. But with esports, he's now doing online competitions for Formula One races. And again, in these global large communities, he ends up being, I don't know, the 1050th, right? And 50,000 people racing. And he really is into it. And he's really seeing the competition. He's really feeling the competition and he takes it serious. And that is magic to see that now this opportunity is there for everyone, right? Everyone with a little bit of gear can now participate in that.
Correct, because I think you this is a perfect example. I would say it's about inclusion. I think this is the perfect word. So imagine that your son wanted to be a Formula One driver. Now we know that there are probably less than 100 in the whole world, right? Formula drivers with reserves and everything. So the chances for you, and I'm not saying I'm sure there are thousands of super skilled drivers, right? They want to be, but they don't have the chance because for a number of reasons, right? And although you're very good, as I said about gamers, you don't have the chance to show that, right? But okay, it's a bit different example, but I think we are reaching to the point that I love to do something. I like your son likes Formula One racing, right? So he has the chance to participate to this competition and he show how good he is, right?
Yep.
I mean, this is something, and yes, as you said, you just need some gear, like need the set. It will cost you a few $100 probably, But becoming a Formula One, that is extremely expensive. Like let's put it this way, right? So it's first of all, imagine how much satisfaction, because this is something that you cannot quantify even in money. In the end, it's about satisfaction of. I know personally, I participate in some local tournaments. I managed to reach the final, win. There's a certain satisfaction that no money can give to you, right?
Yep.
Well, I am the best from that, regardless it's big or small. Imagine the bigger, it's much more important. Like you said, 50,000 people to be number 150. It's a big deal. I mean, it's huge. So that's my point is that I think the most important thing is the inclusion and give you the possibility to do what you like, right? I love to play games. Unfortunately, I don't have enough time for it. But I remember back in the days when my parents will come to me and say, "Why are you wasting your time playing games?" And I reached to the point and said, "Look, that's why." I managed to find the perfect job for me, which is combining games with the new technology. But like a joke aside, is that I think the gaming and esports are providing to a lot of people. I'm not talking more about kids, also adults, a way of it's honestly it's an anti-stress. I think it's better than any medicine you want for the stress if you want,
I concur.
yeah,
Definitely.
yeah. And it's and I think it's gonna only grow from here, and it will become such a mainstream. I mean, esports now are bigger than all these like leagues, like international leagues, like for example, bigger than, I think, if I'm not mistaken, NFL, the US football league. I think they're as big as NBA or even bigger. We're talking about huge numbers, and it's only growing, right? And the beauty of it is that you as a e-athlete, anyone can do it. You don't need to have to be this tall or this big to be able to, or this fast. Anyone can do it. I think that's one of the most important things. And when you say about, for example, I'm gonna just divert a little bit and talking about the collaboration between IKONIC um, and DigiCorp, right? In general, I just want to mention something. As I mentioned earlier, it's all about us providing the platform. But this platform is not just one piece of puzzle. There's many pieces of puzzle that we need to put together. We are covering one piece of puzzle. You guys are covering a different piece of puzzle. But we are all part of the big picture. We need you. You need us to be able to be to be able to complete this puzzle, right? So I think that collaboration just makes sense because we need things from you to be able to make something happen, right? So that's very important, and we can discuss in more details about this. But I'm always when I'm discussing about collaboration, I always take in consideration that a partnership has to be mutually beneficial.
Yeah.
How can we contribute, and how can you contribute to our project? I think it's as simple as that.
And but a very important observation or statement here is that you're already expressing a very different approach or thought process, let me put it that way, than what current, let's say, market leaders are doing, like YouTube and Twitch, because for them it's all about capturing and doing it yourself, right?
Yeah.
So you're already talking about building partnerships, doing it with other people, completing each other, building a bigger puzzle with different pieces is already, in essence, a decentralized way of achieving this, which I think is a beautiful thought, and definitely a thought that needs to be here in Web 3.0 or Web 4.0, whatever we want to call it. Then,
Yeah.
thank you for doing that. What about the tokens? We talked about tokens, right? So there is this element of them going around. How does that work? How do they come into existence? Who makes them? Who creates them? Where do they go? How do they get split? I mean, challenge me with that a little bit.
Of course, my pleasure. I'm sorry for every time that's why I said every time when I become and speak with passion about something that I divert a little bit from the question. Yeah, but talking about tokenomics, so every ecosystem, I mean, especially when you're talking about creating NFTs and they will need a token, right? This is a utility token that is creating my ass. The way we design the tokenomics is to create multiple utilities for the token. So don't think about IKONIC token just as a token to use to buy and sell NFTs. It's much more than that. That is just one of the few utilities that we want to give to the token. And I'm just going to go a little bit through it. And I'm going to add on top of that a parallel between giving utility to the token and also giving utility to the NFTs. That's extremely important. And I'll explain why.
Okay.
So we start with the token. So the tokenomics, of course, is designed by our team. We created in a way to be fair, as for both for the investor and for the whole ecosystem, right? So, to create value in time, because this is a long-term project. This is not a project that's going to be done overnight. And I'm going to go maybe a little bit over the roadmap, which I think is very important to go and to understand more about the tokens as well. So let me make a parallel here. So when I said IKONIC ecosystem, and I was explaining why it's ecosystem and not just an NFT marketplace, because beyond the marketplace, we'll also have gamification elements on the platform, which means that people will be able to have daily tasks, play mini games, earn experience, be on a leaderboard, level up, and earn rewards. So that's actually beyond just an NFT marketplace. And on top of that, we'll have a metaverse, which will be connected to the NFT marketplace. And that actually gives the uniqueness of the whole ecosystem, because no other NFT marketplace is doing that at this moment anyway. So in this metaverse, we'll have NFT galleries where you can buy NFTs or even just visualize them. Will create a revenue stream for the creator, which is very interesting. And it's not a new concept, just to make it clear. Then we'll have like virtual rooms. And I think this is where the difference with Twitch and YouTube comes. So I'll explain to you how it works. For us, very important was to create a bridge between the creators and the fans. For example, on YouTube and Twitch, the maximum a fan can do is to send a message on whatever video, which can be easily ignored if you have millions of followers, right? That doesn't give you that relationship, that connection with the between creator and the fans. But what we do is the following. So if someone creates, we have a creator, right? It can be a streamer, can be a gamer, can be anything, and a certain number of fans buy a certain number of NFTs, they will gain the chance to be in a virtual room with the creator. And it's going to be a limited number of people, 10 people, 12 people, something like that. And they can ask them tips and tricks. They can talk about anything they want, like for half an hour, 1 hour. Imagine that this basically means that we managed to gap to bridge that gap between the creators and the fans. They can speak with each other. They can communicate directly. I'm talking, but you're listening to me. It's not like just writing a message and God knows if they will reply or not. It doesn't
Right.
mean anything. So both we managed to create a social aspect of the platform, and second, we give extra utility for the NFT, because I'm not gonna buy, as a fan, I'm not gonna buy the NFT just maybe to resell it for a higher price, but owning this NFT gives me the possibility to speak with you, the creator, and that's very important. And this is part of the metaverse, and I think this is and I just make a parallel to understand also the utility of the NFT. This is just one example. Then we'll have like gaming rooms where teams can go head to head. You can watch, you can bet who's winning. I mean, it's fun, Nobody forced you to do that, but it's fun. And then we'll have live stream hall, which where you can watch live esports events and in the same time chat with other people in the room. Imagine like going to a concert, watch like your favorite singer. But the difference is that you'll also be able to chat with other people that are watching that specific event. I just made the parallel with the concert because it makes sense. But imagine going on a stadium, right? It's kind of difficult to speak with a person who is on the other side of, of the stadium. Well, you can do that in the metaverse. It's very easy to do it. So this is IKONIC ecosystem. Now, going back to the utility of the token, buying, selling NFTs is obviously one utility. We'll have a creator pool that basically the fans can contribute to the creator to create more NFTs, and they will earn some rewards because these tokens will be staked, right? So you're staking, you're putting like think about the traditional, put your money in a fixed deposit, right? The difference is that you'll definitely get a higher return, and you'll get more benefits from it. For example, have different staking levels. They'll give you certain rewards, but they will give you possibility to get free NFTs, exclusive access to certain competitions of events, even live a real life gear if you want, like t-shirt, a cap, something, right? There's many more things that we can add on top of it to create more utility. Then we'll have discount bonuses as well by holding the IKONIC token. Almost everything you do in the metaverse, you need to hold IKONIC tokens. We also want to impose like inside IKONIC, if you want to participate to any competition, you need to hold both IKONIC tokens, not a large amount, and also NFTs. So that also gives you an additional utility for the token and the
Right.
NFTs itself, right? So everything we do is around creating more and more utility, both for the token and also for the NFTs, because what we want to incentivize people is to buy NFTs, right? That's the whole purpose of it. I create, but I want people to buy not just because that I would honestly buy when we will create NFTs to hold them, part of my trophy case. But that's not the case. This is as a collector, right? Now others, they will think, okay, so what's the value of me buying this NFT besides reselling it at a higher price maybe later? Is, oh, I can participate in competition. Oh, I can even stake NFTs. This is a new concept. You can actually stake NFTs, not only tokens but also
Right.
NFTs. It gains a lot of traction, by the way, this new concept, which gave me some additional perks. So again, going back to the token, the way we design it is, first of all, to not to create sell pressure, which means the investors will be able to gain steadily, organically. Don't expect to be 1,000x overnight, because we are not that type of token, that has no value but creates like insane returns. I don't see that as necessarily a positive thing for the crypto market. As long as these kind of tokens will exist, it's always going to be a question mark, right? How these people are creating value when there's no value behind it, right?
Exactly. And I think we see the first signs of that changing. And
Yeah.
you just have to have either a utility or something real of value that people want. And in this case, I think indeed gamers that want to be part of a community, that want to give their best moments away and share that with other people. I think it's a really good way of creating utility and creating value beyond let's say pump and dump, right? Because in the end, that's
Correct.
happening.
Well, pump and dump, unfortunately for unfortunately for the people who want to do that, is not possible with IKONIC tokens, because the way we design it, the investors will have the tokens will be vested, right? So even in the public round, you buy the token, you'll actually not be able to sell it right away. We just unlock a certain portion, And then we have a certain vesting period. Every day you can claim your tokens and you can use them for whatever you want. You want to stake them, you want to sell them, you want to do whatever you want to do.
Right.
But it creates a certain tokenomics, if you want. Let's just use this word. That basically will keep a control sell pressure, because that's very important, and that's, I think a lot of projects have this problem. The sell pressure, it's a lot of time killing the project. But the way we do it, like for example, whoever invested in earlier rounds, they will get their tokens, full tokens, after 2 years or 1.5 years or 1 year, and the fastest way is after 6 months, right? So pump and dumpers will not like that for sure,
No, for
because
sure.
it's not for them, and we don't want them. Honestly, I said from the beginning, a lot of people. So I want to make profit. How can I do that? Like, look, if you're looking for a quick profit, I'm sorry, but IKONIC is not your. It's not the best way to
Right.
do that. It's go to the neighbor. Yeah, exactly. Because in the end, we want to attract those people that want to be with the project long term. I mean, the metaverse is going to happen in the near future, and then we have a lot of things we want to add. And just to mention a few things that I think is very important, and probably I forgot to mention earlier, we'll be the first NFT marketplace with insurance. We actually signed a partnership with an insurance company, which is from the Netherlands, by the way, just to mention. Basically, when you buy an NFT, you'll have the chance. It's optional. It's not mandatory. You can insure an NFT. What that means, it's like if someone hack your wallet, and it happens, unfortunately, more times than we want to admit, is that at least one thing is that if I insure that NFT, I'll get my money back. So if I buy the NFT for $100 on IKONIC marketplace, and that NFT is insured, and someone hacks my wallet, at least I get my money back for all the NFTs that I have. Right? I think this is a very interesting concept, and I think it's going to gain a lot of traction in the digital world for all the digital assets. I'm not talking about only NFTs, but in
Right.
general, it's that's why we have insurance for anything in the real life, right? We have for the car, we have for the house, we have ourselves. Why not have it for digital assets? It's still an investment, so sort of investment. So why not? Why not having that, right? When you keep your money in the bank, you always ask, how much is insured by the government or the central bank? Or this amount. Okay, fine. So it's the same. And also, and I think this is maybe it's not going to be very popular for crypto fanatics, but we will also offer a fiat on ramp, which means that basically people will be able to buy NFTs with their bank card, traditional bank card. That is part of our inclusion, and part of the fact that a lot of the traditional gamers are not very fond on crypto. But they say, fine, you don't like crypto, but you like NFTs. We offer you the possibility to buy NFTs without using crypto. That is a way, and I think why not? I mean, it's something that's going to be mainstream.
No,
OpenSea
but
is already doing it, and
that's what they do right now, right? You want a better weapon, you buy it. You want a better car, you buy parts for it, right? I mean, they're very,
correct.
very, very aware of all of that. So I think that's a very smart move.
Yeah,
You mentioned metaverse. So in sort of a closing question or closing thought, this metaverse is happening, as you said, right? And there's going to be
yeah,
many. There's not going to be one. And I remember really vividly the early days of the internet. Again, being a researcher, I used it first for research purposes to talk to NASA engineers in the US. That's my history. And then it became this web of e-commerce, right? It was sort of
yeah,
the development. So we're at the same stage almost at the beginning of this multiverse, because I agree with you, this will happen. And it
yeah,
will happen fast, and it will happen in many different ways. And there's going to be a lot of success and also some failures, right? So how do you think, or what do you expect from it? Because I personally, and I'll do a little bit of a lead in, I personally think it's almost like a necessary step. The web as we know it today is still almost like a book, right? You can read it, you
yeah,
can scroll, you don't turn a page, but you scroll down, you scroll up, you go to
yeah,
another book, you read again. There's nothing that sort of mimics real life. I know where my
yeah,
book is because I know it's in a room, in a cabinet, blah blah blah. What I think the metaverse will bring is this 3D capability that we have as a brain. We can now start using in the digital world, which I think is a major improvement and will unlock a lot of people, a lot of creativity, and a lot of new things to happen. And I'm really personally very excited about that. And I hope you too. But it's,
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, I'm more than excited. Look, I'll tell you something. The first so-called metaverse was called Second Life, and that was back in 2000. I think it was. I started to play it in like 2005 or 2006, if I remember. But I think that it was established like 2003, and I think they had this token, so-called. Okay, they had their currency that you can actually change in US dollars, right? So this was the first concept of metaverse. And now, while it gained some traction, right, it was not very popular because, they are still pioneers. But I think one of the most important things is going to be, as you said, the multiverse is going to be the to be able to cross from one metaverse to another. Imagine that we always think about, for me, like, we saw Star Trek, teleport from one place to another. Well, this is what the metaverse is gonna offer to us, the possibility to go from one world to another, right? Because each metaverse is different in a way. But more than that, I think that whatever we are doing now in real life, we will do it in the metaverse. I know there are companies holding meetings in the metaverse. They
yeah,
are actually working in the metaverse almost, right? So everything
yeah,
is happening there. Why all these companies, BMW, Vodafone, Microsoft, Google, are buying space in the metaverse? What reason? Because they are business, right? For them, most important is the business. So they see business value. We see it differently, right? You come from the science. You see, we are seeing from a different angle, but they are seeing it from a business perspective, and they know that this is going to be the future, and a lot of things are going to happen in the metaverse. Metaverse is not going to be. A lot of people think metaverse equal gaming. Well, that's actually not true. That's not true at all. Metaverse has
no,
some gaming aspects, but actually it's much more than that. It's the real. It's like the same as me. If I want to go play football, right? A football game, but in the same time go shopping. Well, it's the same, or even work. It's gonna be the same with the metaverse. I can play, but I can also actually work and communicate with other people and do a lot of things in the metaverse. And being able, I don't know if we are very close to that, but being able to connect with other metaverses, and iconic metaverse will be compatible to this, to be able to connect with other metaverses. And this is our aim, not just keep it closed for ourselves, because that's not the purpose. The purpose of metaverse is connectivity, inclusion, everything else. Yeah, there will be different projects. Some they will fail, some they will not. But look at Sandbox, Decentraland, right? Maybe not the best examples, but they are very successful, right? So and this is just a foundation, but we have more and more. And while the technology will advance, I think everybody at some point in the future, they will be part of a metaverse, one way or another. So I am very excited about it. Know that you found one guy who is extremely excited about the metaverse in general, and I loved Second Life, the concept. I love the concept, and I said, I hope one day this is gonna become mainstream. And fortunately, it's happening. So
you're
it's
doing it. You're part of
yeah,
it. I think that's the beauty.
yeah, correct. So
So
I am
thank you
very
so much
excited.
for that. What I would like to agree with you, because I think it was a great talk, is that we circle back in, I don't know, 3 months, in 6 months, and then see where we are, what happened, what did we achieve, and do another one, because I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed your insights. I really enjoyed your story. You explained IKONIC really well, and I wish you all the best with pushing it forward, getting those items on the roadmap, which are listed on your website. I checked earlier,
Yeah.
which are listed there, and push them out and achieve them and make them real. Like to circle back and have a follow-up interview. I also like to make one of the highlights of this particular one an NFT together with you, because that I think would be really cool. And then
Yeah.
hopefully we can share it out, or we can give it to the people that actually have looked at this and listened to us. Thank you for your time. Thank you all the viewers and the listeners that chimed in over time to spend the time here. I hope you got some good information out of it, and thank you very much. Have a great rest of your day, morning, afternoon, and looking forward to talk to you again soon.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I mean, I actually, just to close the few final words, I think we can do this like every 3 months, for example, and after we do like 3 or 4, we can create a collection. Like we have the first interview, we have the second interview, have the third one and the fourth one, and imagine that we'll have like a connection. It'll be IKONIC DigiCorp NFT collection. So just to point out, I think hopefully in 3 months we'll be able to launch the token as well, because now the market conditions are not great. But one thing I want to tell to everybody, I think actually this information is not public yet, so it's going to be first time that I'm going to tell it in a public environment, is that we will launch the platform very soon. We are working to finalize it, and regardless will the market condition, the platform will be ready to use very soon. I hopefully in the next 5 to 6 weeks maximum, we'll be able to launch the platform. Everybody can use it, and we will be able to create those NFTs that we discussed.
Looking forward to that.
Thank you so much. It was really great. It was an honor for me to be here, and I enjoyed it. And looking forward to have another one in 3 months.
You got it. We'll be back. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Have a great one.
Thank you very much. Bye.